Andreas Krieg is an associate professor at King's College London School of Security Studies and spent a number of years working in Qatar. And he was at the King's reception earlier today. Good evening, Andreas.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well. Why do you think Britain is rolling out the red carpet, literally, for the Emir of Qatar?
Quite literally, yes. I think Qatar plays an immensely important role in the idea of global Britain, the idea which is more or less a grand strategic objective which hasn't really been filled with means and ways to achieve them. But one way of achieving them is through partnerships all over the world, using the old sort of networks that Britain still has and still retains from the time of empire and beyond that. And the idea that, Britain requires partnerships to unlock some of the very difficult relationships that we might not be able to unlock on our own, especially when we want to talk to non-state actors in the Middle East, when we want to talk to Iran, when we try to, find a way to unlock the issue in the Middle East between Israel and Gaza or Israel and Hamas. And all these issues, Qatar has been a very, very formidable partner and a very reliable partner as well. And second of all, obviously, it's a very important investor in the UK. I think the Emir was saying today that Qatari businesses have invested more than £100 billion over the last 15 years or so into the UK economy. And that makes them immensely important for this government here in the UK that is all about growth.
And is it the case, do you think, that the British government is overlooking the concerns and the objections about Qatar's record on human rights? Notably, as I mentioned, the fact that there's a ban on same-sex relationships and so on, a lot of concerns about the rights of some workers and so on, and that we're just overlooking that in order to get Qatari money into the country.
Well, I mean, look, we're taking a very interest-focused approach at the moment in foreign and security policy. I mean, we understand we might be the soft superpower of the world, but we're certainly not a hard superpower in the world. So we have to be pragmatic in finding and building these relationships. But what we can say about Qatar, what makes them different from other Middle Eastern countries, also different from other Gulf states, is that they are listening to criticism and they usually make amends. I mean, the whole, pressure that was put up on Qatar in the run-up to the FIFA World Cup 2022 about workers' rights have really had a positive impact on human rights in the country. Obviously, not at the standard that we would expect here in the UK, but certainly have made, and that's what all NGOs have said as well, had a positive impact. So I think Qatar is a partner that is listening, that they're not pushing back, they're not saying we don't want to listen. They do want to listen. And I think because we have that relationship, because we have that special bond that the King was talking about, I think there is an opportunity to use an interest-based relationship to also have an impact on values. And also, mind you, I mean, some of our values here that we appreciate and cherish might not be shared by the vast majority of other countries around the world.
Just briefly, if you can, it's a big question. And Qatar, of course, has been a key broker in the Middle East, was at the centre of those negotiations between Israel and Hamas. It appeared to say it wasn't doing that anymore. Does it still have a role there?
It does have a role. So at the moment, we have a fairly virtual office of Hamas because these different Hamas entities or individuals are moving around the region, but they still have a special relationship with the Qataris. And again, the Qataris have that sort of trust on Hamas side, but also have the trust of the Israelis, which no other party in the region has. So even if this virtual office was to move to Turkey or any other country, Egypt, Turkey would not be able to do what Qatar has been doing. So if there is an opening, and they're still talking, as of what I've heard over the last couple of days, there is a very small opening to potentially have a deal either before Trump comes in or when Trump comes in, to get at least the hostages out, which is what we all want to achieve. I do think Qatar will have to have a role to play in that.
Andreas Krieg, Associate Professor at King's College London School of Security Studies. Great to speak to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.